Muhammad Ali was 54 years old when it happened. The man once called the greatest now walked slowly. His hands shook. His voice was softer than the roar that once silenced stadiums. The world had moved on. A new king ruled boxing, young, explosive, terrifying. Mike Tyson. The most feared heavyweight of his generation. Men didn't fight Tyson, they survived him. Cameras flashed as both men stood in the same room. The past and the present, side by side. People expected reverence. They expected silence. Instead, laughter echoed. Mike Tyson smirked, glanced at Ali, and made a comment that cut deeper than any punch. A joke about age. About weakness. About how fast legends fade when time catches them. The crowd reacted instantly. Some laughed. Some gasped. Others froze, unsure whether they had just witnessed disrespect or history repeating itself. Muhammad Ali didn't move. He stood there, steady, eyes calm, like a lion who no longer needs to roar. His body had slowed, but his presence hadn't. Every person in that room knew what Ali once was. They had seen the knockouts, heard the poetry, watched him dance when heavyweights weren't supposed to float. But now he was a man battling Parkinson's. A man the world had quietly decided was finished. Tyson, standing in his prime, believed this moment belonged to him. Power does that to people. It convinces them the throne is permanent. The cameras zoomed in, waiting for a reaction. An outburst. A comeback line. Anything. Ali said nothing. That silence, heavy, deliberate, was more uncomfortable than any insult. Because it carried something no microphone could capture. Experience. Pain. Legacy. Tyson's smile lingered, but something shifted. The room felt different. The laughter died. In that moment, the world didn't realize it yet. But Mike Tyson was about to learn a lesson no trainer could teach. And Muhammad Ali was about to remind everyone why greatness doesn't disappear with age. It transforms. What happened next shocked everyone watching. The event was meant to be a celebration. Bright lights flooded the ballroom. Cameras lined the walls. Champions from different eras filled the room, some still dangerous, others remembered for what they once were. At the center of it all stood Mike Tyson. At just 27 years old, Tyson wasn't simply a boxer, he was a force of nature. Undefeated. Explosive. Feared. Opponents didn't look him in the eyes. Promoters built entire nights around his presence. Every movement he made screamed dominance. Then there was Muhammad Ali. At 54, Ali moved carefully through the crowd. His steps were slower now, measured. The tremor in his hands was impossible to hide. Parkinson's had taken its toll, but it hadn't taken his dignity. People stared, not with cruelty, but with discomfort. Seeing a legend age makes us face something we try to avoid. That time eventually comes for everyone. Ali had been invited as an icon. A symbol. The past. Tyson was the present, and he knew it. As Tyson laughed with reporters, someone mentioned Ali's name. Tyson glanced over casually, expecting nothing more than a photo opportunity. That's when the comment slipped out. It wasn't shouted. It wasn't meant to be cruel, at least not openly. But it was careless. A joke about age. About how different things would have been back then. The words landed heavier than Tyson expected. A few people laughed nervously. Others looked away. Ali heard everything. He didn't flinch. Didn't react. Didn't even turn his head right away. He stood there, absorbing the moment, not as a victim, but as a man who had already faced far worse than disrespect. Ali had fought racism, government persecution, prison threats. He had sacrificed his prime years for his beliefs. A careless joke couldn't shake him. But it revealed something important. Tyson, despite all his power, was still learning what Ali already knew. Boxing isn't just about fists, it's about character. Ali slowly turned toward Tyson. The room grew quieter. Every camera lifted. Every reporter leaned forward. This wasn't just two fighters standing together. This was a crossroads, where youth meets wisdom and strength meets restraint. Backhand index pointing down. If you're watching this and you believe legends deserve respect, Subscribe now. Speech balloon and comment below. Do you think greatness is measured by power or by character? Ali took a breath. Not to speak yet, but to decide how a legend responds when tested. Because what happens next would define the moment far more than any punch ever could. And no one in that room was ready for it. The silence that followed felt heavier than the insult itself. It wasn't the kind of quiet that passes quickly. It lingered, stretching the moment until every person in the room became aware of their own breathing. Mike Tyson stood with his arms folded, chin slightly raised, still wearing the confident half-smile that had intimidated men twice his size. He was used to fear. Used to dominance. Used to being the center of attention. Muhammad Ali, meanwhile, remained perfectly still. His body showed the weight of years, shoulders slightly curved, hands trembling faintly, but his posture carried something Tyson hadn't expected: command. Ali's eyes were fixed on Tyson now. Not with anger. Not with judgment. With recognition. As if he wasn't looking at a champion, but at a reflection of his younger self. Reporters sensed something was about to happen. Cameras clicked faster. Microphones were raised. Someone in the crowd whispered, "Is he going to say something?" Ali took one slow step forward. It wasn't aggressive. It wasn't dramatic. But the effect was immediate. Tyson's smile tightened. Not fear, not yet, but uncertainty. Ali had been in moments like this before. Facing men who thought strength was loud. Men who believed respect could be demanded rather than earned. He had once been that man. Ali remembered what it felt like to be young, invincible, and unstoppable. To believe the world belonged to him. To think time was an opponent he'd never have to fight. Tyson spoke again, trying to keep control of the moment. "I mean no disrespect," he said, though his tone said otherwise. "I'm just saying times change." Ali nodded slowly. "Yes," he said quietly. "They do." His voice wasn't strong, but it was steady. That steadiness cut deeper than shouting ever could. Ali took another step closer. The room leaned in. "People see the hands shaking," Ali continued. "They see the slow walk. They think that means weakness." He paused. "But they don't see the battles already won." Tyson shifted his stance. The crowd noticed. This wasn't a physical fight, but something far more uncomfortable for Tyson. This was a contest of presence. Ali continued, his words measured, deliberate. "I fought men who wanted to hurt me. I fought a system that wanted to silence me. I fought for my beliefs when it cost me everything." He glanced around the room. "And I survived." For the first time, Tyson didn't look like the strongest man in the room. He looked young. Ali's gaze returned to him. "You hit hard," Ali said. "Harder than I ever did." That admission surprised everyone. "But power," Ali added, "isn't what lasts." The crowd was silent now. Not even whispers. Ali's words weren't meant to humiliate. They weren't meant to challenge. They were meant to teach. Tyson swallowed. He had knocked men unconscious in seconds. But he had never been stripped of control like this. Ali wasn't attacking him. He was exposing something Tyson hadn't yet learned. That fame fades. That fear expires. That time humbles everyone. Ali stopped moving. They stood only a few feet apart. Two champions. One at the peak. One beyond it. And yet, only one of them carried the weight of history. Ali smiled gently. Not mocking. Understanding. That smile said everything. It said, "I've been where you are. And I know where you're going." Tyson looked away. Just for a moment. But everyone saw it. The conflict was over. And no punch had been thrown. What remained was the tension of what Ali would do next. Because the world expected confrontation. But Muhammad Ali had never followed expectations. And the next moment would change everything. For a brief moment, neither man spoke. The room felt suspended in time, as if everyone present understood they were witnessing something rare. Not a confrontation. A crossroads. Muhammad Ali broke the silence first. He didn't raise his voice. Didn't posture. Didn't perform. He simply spoke, The way a man speaks when he no longer needs approval. You know, Ali said softly, they once looked at me the same way. Tyson glanced back at him. They saw the speed, the power, the mouth. They thought I was unstoppable. Ali smiled faintly, the memory both heavy and warm. And maybe, for a moment, I was. A ripple moved through the crowd, not applause, but recognition. Ali took a slow breath. But nobody tells you what comes after the cheers fade. Nobody prepares you for the quiet. His eyes drifted across the room, over the young fighters, the reporters, the fans clinging to autographs. They don't tell you about waking up one day and realizing your body doesn't answer the way it used to. That the crowds move on. That the spotlight finds someone younger. Tyson listened now. Really listened. Ali turned back to him. That day comes for all of us. The words weren't a warning. They were a truth. Ali reached into his jacket pocket. The movement was slow, deliberate. Several people in the crowd leaned forward, unsure of what he was doing. He pulled out a folded photograph. The edges were worn. Ali held it up between them. This was me at 22, he said. Fast, loud, hungry. He looked at Tyson. Sound familiar? A few nervous laughs escaped the crowd. Tyson gave a small nod. Ali lowered the photo. I thought strength meant being feared. I thought respect came from power. He paused. I was wrong. The room felt smaller now, more intimate. Ali stepped closer. So let me tell you something nobody told me. Tyson didn't interrupt. Ali's voice lowered. Fame doesn't protect you. Money doesn't save you. And fear doesn't build legacies. He tapped his chest lightly. What people remember is how you made them feel. Ali let the words settle. Tyson exhaled slowly. Ali straightened, summoning the last of his old fire, not in aggression, but in clarity. You're going to be champion, Ali said. Maybe the greatest of your era. That stunned the room. But don't confuse dominance with greatness. Ali reached out, gently, and placed his trembling hand on Tyson's forearm. The touch was brief, but powerful. When your fists are gone, Ali said, what will be left? Tyson stared at the hand on his arm, then at Ali's face. There was no challenge there. No judgment. Only understanding. The noise of the room faded. This wasn't about boxing anymore. It was about inheritance. Ali removed his hand and stepped back. I don't need to prove anything, he said calmly. My fights are already finished. He smiled again, that same quiet smile. But yours are just beginning. For a moment, Tyson looked like he wanted to say something. But no words came. The turning point had passed. The confrontation the crowd expected never arrived. Instead, something far more unsettling had taken place. Ali hadn't humbled Tyson with force. He had done it with truth. And that truth would echo far beyond this room. Because what Ali did next, something no one saw coming, would seal the moment forever. The room was still absorbing Ali's words when he did something no one expected. He slowly removed the glove from his right hand. The movement wasn't dramatic. It wasn't ceremonial. But every camera locked onto it instantly. Muhammad Ali held the glove in his trembling fingers, looking at it for a moment, as if remembering every fight it had seen, every punch thrown, every cheer earned. Then he extended it toward Mike Tyson. Here, Ali said quietly. The room froze. Tyson stared at the glove, unsure how to react. This wasn't a challenge. This wasn't mockery. It was an offering. I carried this sport once, Ali continued. And now, it's yours to carry. The weight of the moment crashed over the room. Tyson reached out slowly and took the glove. His grip was firm. Ali's was not. That contrast alone told a story no words could explain. For the first time that night, Tyson didn't look powerful. He looked humbled. His head lowered slightly. No cameras flashed now. No one spoke. Ali leaned closer, his voice low, meant only for Tyson, though everyone strained to hear. Don't let it turn you into something you won't recognize, Ali said. Fame is loud, but it leaves you alone. Tyson swallowed hard. Those words landed deeper than any punch he had ever taken. He nodded. Once. Slowly. The crowd erupted, not in cheers, but in stunned applause. Not for a knockout. For a lesson. Ali stepped back. He didn't wait for praise. Didn't pose for the cameras. He simply turned away, adjusting his jacket, ready to leave. And that's when Tyson spoke. "Mr. Ali," he said. Ali stopped. Tyson's voice was quieter now, stripped of bravado. "I didn't mean disrespect." Ali turned his head slightly. "I know," he said. "But meaning isn't what matters." The honesty hit harder than anger ever could. Ali smiled, not proudly, but peacefully. As he began to walk away, the room finally exhaled. This wasn't a viral moment yet. It was something deeper. A passing of weight. A reminder. Years later, Tyson would admit that night stayed with him. That moment haunted him, and guided him. That Ali's silence, his words, and that glove forced him to confront something he'd been avoiding. The man he was becoming. Backhand index pointing down. Comment below. Did Ali just defeat Tyson without throwing a punch? Red heart if moments like this matter to you. Subscribe for more real stories of true greatness. Ali reached the door and paused. He turned one last time. Not to speak. Just to look. And in that look was everything. Forgiveness. Wisdom. Finality. Ali left the room the same way he entered it. Quietly. But the impact of what he did thundered long after. Because the greatest victories aren't always won in the ring. Sometimes, they're won in moments no one expects. The doors closed softly behind Muhammad Ali. No applause followed him. No chants. No flashbulbs. Yet the room he left behind felt completely different than before. People stood frozen in place, unsure how to process what they had just witnessed. This wasn't a boxing moment. It was something quieter, heavier. Mike Tyson remained where he was, the glove still in his hand. He didn't raise it. Didn't show it off. He simply stared at it. For the first time in years, the noise inside his head had gone silent. Tyson had built his identity on fear. On being the most dangerous man alive. On domination. But none of that helped him in that moment. Ali's words replayed in his mind. When your fists are gone, what will be left? Tyson slowly closed his hand around the glove. It felt different than his own. Lighter. Older. Yet somehow, heavier with meaning. Around him, conversations slowly resumed, whispers at first. That wasn't disrespect. That was a lesson. I've never seen Tyson like that. Ali didn't fight him, he changed him. Tyson barely heard them. He was remembering things he had never allowed himself to face. The fear of being forgotten. The anger that followed him everywhere. The loneliness that fame had never cured. Ali had seen all of it, because he had lived it. That night, Tyson left the event early. No interviews. No celebrations. He went back to his hotel room and placed the glove carefully on the table. He sat across from it for a long time. No TV. No phone. Just thought. Years passed. Tyson's career soared, and then fell. Victories. Controversies. Mistakes the world would never forget. But through it all, that moment with Ali never left him. In interviews years later, Tyson would speak differently. Quieter. More reflective. He admitted something few champions ever do. That night, Tyson said, I realized Ali wasn't just a fighter. He was a teacher. Tyson began to understand that greatness isn't just measured in belts, but in restraint, in accountability, in growth. Ali, meanwhile, never spoke publicly about the moment. He didn't need to. That was never his way. He had already said enough. As his health declined, people continued to line up to meet him. Not because he could fight, but because he could inspire. When Ali passed, tributes poured in from around the world. Athletes, leaders, fans, and among them was Mike Tyson. He stood at Ali's memorial quietly, head bowed. No cameras needed. Later, he said, I wish I could tell him thank you one more time. He showed me that being a man matters more than being a champion. The glove Tyson once held wasn't a trophy. It was a reminder. That power fades. That time humbles. That respect is earned not through fear, but through character. Ali had walked away that night without demanding an apology, without raising his voice, without lifting a fist. And yet, he had won something far more important. He had planted a seed, one that grew long after the moment passed. Because true legends don't defeat others. They elevate them. The story of Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson isn't really about boxing. It's about time. About ego. About what remains when strength fades and noise disappears. Muhammad Ali understood something most people never learn until it's too late. That power borrowed from youth is temporary, but character endures. When Ali stood in that room at 54, his body no longer obeyed him the way it once had. The speed was gone. The fire in his hands had dimmed. But something else had grown stronger. Wisdom. Ali didn't respond to disrespect with anger. He didn't try to reclaim the spotlight or remind the world of who he used to be. He let his presence speak. And in doing so, he delivered a lesson more powerful than any knockout. Mike Tyson represented raw force, the kind that terrifies and dominates. Ali represented something rarer, restraint. That night showed the difference between being feared and being remembered. History remembers champions for what they win, but it remembers legends for what they give. Ali gave perspective. He gave humility. He gave a warning wrapped in grace. And Tyson, to his credit, listened. Years later, when Tyson spoke about Ali, there was no arrogance in his voice, only respect. Because when you encounter true greatness, it humbles you. This moment reminds us of something deeper than sports. That age doesn't erase worth. That silence can be stronger than shouting. That the loudest people in the room aren't always the most powerful. Respect isn't about status. It's about how you treat people when you don't have to. Ali could have embarrassed Tyson. He could have used words as weapons. Instead, he chose dignity. That choice is why his legacy still lives. We live in a world that celebrates dominance. Being louder, richer, stronger. But Ali showed us a different kind of strength. The kind that teaches instead of destroys. The kind that lifts others instead of breaking them down. Backhand index pointing down. If you believe true power is shown through respect, type respect in the comments. Speech balloon and tell me, which moment in sports history taught you the biggest life lesson? Because stories like this matter. They remind us who we should be, not just what we should achieve. Bell subscribe for more real stories of legends, lessons, and moments that changed the world. Muhammad Ali didn't need to win that night. He already had. And the world is still learning from it.